Hello everyone. My name is Hunter, and this is a spoiler review of Ted Lasso season 3, episode 3. Now, there were a lot of really good things in this episode, and first I want to focus on like the main story, and that's Zava. Zava joining the team. I kind of thought that he was going to join the team and he wasn't going to do very well, but yeah, he's doing very well. He is the reason that Richmond is now in like third or second to actually win the entire thing. And Zava as a character, he's interesting because I thought I would hate him, but he's not that bad. He's a very egotistical person, but he's still kind of a good person. There's one part in this where Sam and his friends are having their opening of their restaurant, and Zava decides to show up, and he helps promote it. I mean, that's just a nice thing to do. You can say that Zava only did it so he can be seen as a good person. He wants to feel good, but still, I mean, it was a good person thing to do. So I don't really mind Zava right now. He's a very interesting character, and I'm wondering where they're taking him. So we got another storyline here with Jamie and Roy. Jamie is obviously jealous of Zava. Zava is the best player now. He took Jamie's spot. And Jamie is like very upfront about it. He is jealous. He tells Roy, and at the end of the episode, he asks Roy to let Roy coach him. Sorry, I have the episode pulled up right here, and I'm kind of searching through it, trying to remind myself a bit. So I don't know where the Jamie and Roy thing is gonna go. We're dealing with a lot of storylines here. These last 3 episodes, we've just been making new plots and storylines like every 10 minutes. So Rebecca in this episode decides to visit a psychic her mom has suggested. This part I don't really care for. Yes, yeah, as you can hear, Rebecca is not too fond of the psychic here, and she thinks she's being ridiculous. But of course, like most cliches, Rebecca starts to see some of the things that her psychic that the psychic has been talking about, like the green matchbox and stuff like that. And at the very end, she says that Rebecca will get pregnant, and Rebecca does not take that lightly. Uh, and then again, this is another plot line that they introduced, and I don't really care about it right now. I feel like this show is really strong when the characters that we know of are interacting together, and when Rebecca's like when Keely is alone talking to people that we don't really know. I get kind of bored with that, and then the same with this. Rebecca's talking to somebody that we haven't met yet, and I just get kind of bored with that. If she was talking to anybody else, so yeah, the entire psychic thing, I'm just not very interested in right now. Maybe it'll get more interesting. But I think the fact that she's actually seeing some of the things that the psychic was talking about is a bit cliche. And so we go through the episode more. And probably the biggest moment in the show, the entire show, I mean, and that's when Ted decides to call his wife, his ex-wife. I mean, he calls his ex-wife all the way in America. And guess who picks up the phone? Her boyfriend. And you're never going to guess who that boyfriend is. The therapist that told Ted to move to England. It's absolutely insane. Um, yeah, this guy is a real jerk. This therapist guy. This therapist is the reason the show even exists in the first place. Since considering the fact that he is the boyfriend of Ted's now ex-wife, he told Ted to move to England to take this job, to get away from the ex-wife, so that he could move in on the ex-wife. It's so unethical. And I think this guy is worse than Nate. I mean, this guy is just awful. Without this, I mean, if it wasn't for this guy and his unethicalness, I guess, we wouldn't have this show at all. This show wouldn't exist because of that guy. So you can thank him maybe for that, but for everything else, my gosh, this is a horrible person. And like, I don't think his wife is that much better, considering the fact that she's been so mean to Ted ever since. And then you have Dr. Shannon. Near the end, he was talking to Dr. Shannon about this, and I thought it was kind of rude how she just hung up on him. Like he was in the middle of talking about like a pretty big thing here about his old therapist now dating his ex-wife, and she was like, I gotta go, I gotta go, I. But then again, they have been doing these sessions for months now, so maybe she's used to having Ted talk for hours, and if she didn't say anything, they'd be there for another hour or so. And this is a pretty big moment for Ted, so he'd probably be talking for a few hours. But Ted seems to understand. But and then there's one more plot that starts at the beginning of the episode and ends at the end of the episode, and that's with a character that we haven't seen much of. His name is Colin. We see Colin with like at home, and he's with his boyfriend. But the thing is, nobody knows that he has a boyfriend, and it seems pretty apparent that nobody knows that he's even gay. Uh, because like there's a part in here where they're kind of just making jokes. Everyone, if you watch the episode, I'm not gonna like play the episode, but like they're all like stunned in silence when somebody else, not Colin, says that he's jokes that he's gay. So it seems like Colin's a little bit insecure about his own sexuality here. And then, but near the end of the episode, Trent actually finds Colin and his boyfriend kissing behind Sam's restaurant, and I don't know what's going to happen with that. Maybe he'll put it in his book. I'm not sure. And if he does, that means I was thinking maybe the book would come out at the end of the season, but it seems like if that happens, it'll come out much earlier. Um, and yeah, with this storyline, it doesn't really connect with anything right now. I don't know much about Colin, and this is the first time he ever saw his boyfriend. So this is the same thing like Rebecca and even Keely's story the past few episodes, where I'm not really interested in this story right now until it actually connects to something that connects to one of the main story points. Ted Lasso, these first 3 episodes of this season has just been making so many storylines, and I'm kind of worried that they won't pay off because there's only what 10 episodes in this season, but we're on episode 3, so maybe the storylines are all set now. Finally, after 3 episodes, and maybe they'll finally get to going through those storylines. I think this is a really strong episode. It shows a lot of character. It shows a lot of big crazy moments like Ted realizing his ex-wife is dating his ex-therapist. And it's very emotional, very fun. And so if I had to give it a grade from 0 to 100, I would probably give it an 8. An 8 for right now. Yeah, it's just a really good episode. So I do thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. It would really help me out. And without further ado, goodbye.